You've been told to just manage your symptoms. But what if your problem is hiding below the surface? Welcome to Root Cause Wellness.
You know what's so frustrating? You spend your hard-earned money on products to look and feel your absolute best, only to find out you might be exposing yourself to thousands of, well, pretty harmful chemicals without even knowing it. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover the truth about what's really lurking in our bathroom cabinets. It's a really tough question, isn't it? But it's one we absolutely have to ask. Because what if the very things we're using to feel confident and put together are actually silently sabotaging our health? Let's dig in and find out.
Okay, so here's probably the biggest misconception we need to just bust right now. We kind of think of our hair and nails as dead, right? Or that lotions and creams just sit on top of our skin. But the truth is, our body acts way more like a sponge. Our skin, our scalp, even our nail beds are incredibly absorbent, which means they can be a direct highway for chemicals to get right into our bloodstream.
So once these chemicals are actually in our system, what do? The real danger here isn't just, a little surface irritation. It's about how they mess with our body's super complex internal systems. Let's take a look at the two main ways this happens. First up, we've got something called endocrine disruptors. Just think of your hormones as these tiny messengers that are basically running your entire body, controlling everything from your mood to your metabolism. Well, endocrine disruptors are like chemical imposters. They get in there and just scramble all those important messages, which, as you can imagine, leads to total chaos in your system. And then there's microbiome destruction. We have trillions of friendly bacteria living on us and in us, and they form this amazing natural shield for our immune system. But a lot of the harsh chemicals and beauty products, they just wipe out this protective barrier entirely, leaving us wide open and vulnerable. All right, so now that we get the how, let's dive into the what. We've put together a kind of most wanted list, 5 of the most common culprits that could be hiding in plain sight in your bathroom right now. And we're starting with something so many of us use every single day, compact powder. I mean, it seems totally harmless, right? Just a simple finishing touch. But its main ingredient can be hiding a really serious danger. So the issue here is talc. When talc is mined from the earth, it's often found right next to asbestos, which is a known carcinogen. And this cross-contamination is so common that some studies suggest up to 20%, that's 1 in every 5, talc-based products could be contaminated, and that asbestos is directly linked to a really rare and aggressive cancer called mesothelioma. Next up on our list is that manicure and pedicure staple, nail polish, and its trusty remover. It gives us that polished, put-together feeling for sure, but the chemical cocktail inside is, honestly, it's pretty alarming.
A lot of polishes have what's known as the toxic trio. Let's break it down. First, there's toluene, which is a solvent you'd also find in gasoline, and it's linked to nervous system toxicity. Then you've got formaldehyde, the exact same chemical used for embalming. And last, dibutyl phthalate, a really potent endocrine disruptor. And that's all before we even get to the remover, which is usually just acetone, a harsh industrial solvent that can have serious effects on your liver and kidneys.
Okay, this next one is it's a sensitive topic, but it is so important that we talk about it. Intimate hygiene products. They're marketed to us as being essential for freshness, for cleanliness, but they can actually do some serious damage to your body's natural defenses. See, the vagina has its own brilliant, self-cleaning ecosystem, and it's maintained by good bacteria like lactobacillus. These washes come in and completely destroy that microbiome. They throw off the natural pH, they strip away your protective barrier, and get this, the irony is they leave you way more susceptible to things like UTIs, HPV, and even cervical cancer.
Okay, moving on to culprit number 4, hair removal creams. They promise this super quick, painless way to get smooth skin, but the way they actually work is, well, it's pretty aggressive.
So these creams work because their main ingredient, this thioglycolic acid, literally dissolves the keratin protein that your hair is made of. It is officially listed as a corrosive, hazardous substance. So think about it. You're basically putting a chemical that's designed to dissolve tissue right onto your skin. And for our final culprit, we are looking at one of the most chemically dense products you can find, permanent hair dye. A fresh color can feel amazing, I get it. But the chemical exposure is huge. Just look at that number. Over 5,000 different chemicals. And we have to remember, your scalp is highly absorbent skin. So when you're sitting there with that dye on your head, all those chemicals have a direct pathway into your bloodstream where they can start acting as those endocrine disruptors we talked about. And hey, this isn't just some theory. The evidence is really starting to pile up. A major study called the Sister Study followed over 45,000 women, and it found a significant link between the regular use of permanent hair dye and a higher risk of developing both breast and bladder cancer.
Okay, I know that was a whole lot of heavy, maybe even scary information. But here's the good news. You do not have to give up your beauty rituals. The solution here isn't about deprivation at all. It's about empowerment, about making smarter, safer choices. So let's get into the action plan.
Here is your simple 4-step plan. Step 1. Swap out the main offenders. Look for powders that are specifically labeled asbestos-free, find some non-toxic, eco-friendly nail polishes, and maybe explore natural hair dyes like henna. Step 2. For intimate health, just ditch the washes completely. Trust your body's incredible natural system and maybe consider a probiotic to support your microbiome. Third, for hair removal, opt for traditional waxing instead of putting corrosive creams on your skin. And finally, the most powerful step of all, read your labels, research your brands, and become the boss of what you put on your body.
Making these changes can feel like such a huge step toward taking back control of your health. So, for everybody who's already started on this journey, what are your go-to clean beauty brands? Share your favorites in the comments below. Let's help our whole community make safer swaps together.
Remember, true health is about getting to the underlying root cause, not just managing your symptoms with a label and a pill.